Hello everyone, and thanks for joining this call today. If you are on this webinar, we assume you certainly are the type of the person who cares for the safety and progress at your fieldwork. Here's applause for you all for joining today's call. As today, together we will learn and understand how industry leaders are adapting a new methods to make the work completed and faster while holding safety a priority. Today's webinar, How to Perform Asset Inspections in Post-Pandemic, is a webinar which will focus upon giving you the progress and safety together. So, let me ask you this question. During last 1 year, and during this whole complete pandemic that has been going around, were you ever felt that have your field inspections been impacted due to the pandemic? Any of your work has got impacted? Were you ever concerned that delay in the inspection would have a major impact on the operations? Were you ever concerned that safety of your field workers? Were you ever concerned for the safety of your field workers? Are you worried the second wave which we are going right now will have a larger impact on the inspection work that needs to be completed? And did you ever wonder enterprises and leaders in gas, power and other utilities, how are they able to surf through this wave and still get the progress done, get the inspections completed on time and execute their work on time and on date while also considering the safety of our workers? Did this thought cross your mind? If you have said a yes to any of those above questions, now I want to ask you one more thing. Would you also like to understand and learn to apply that strategy that successful enterprises are executing? Would you like to? I would do. If I am from an inspection and I am responsible for inspections, I certainly do. I hope you do too. So let's understand how this is done. Before I explain you what is that strategy, let me give a brief background about ourselves, who we are and why we are talking about this. Magic Minds is an 11-year-old organization which has been working with utilities and telecoms across the globe for their operational systems and also for the design and planning systems. While we work on these systems, we understand data plays a very precise role in making any successful execution of these projects. And this data is essentially coming from the field. So we Magic Minds understand the need for a mobility solution that can bring or bridge the gap between the field to back office and make real-time data viewing possible. So we have been working some of the leading industries, leading customers across the globe. And that's where we could identify the strategy from. Now, what is that strategy? See, any problem can be solved if you focus on three elements. What are the three elements? What is the actual problem? How can I solve the problem? And what are the current actions to solve the problem? It's pretty simple, right? Let me repeat that. So what is that strategy? How is that strategy built? You need to know the three important things. What is the actual problem? How can I solve the problem? And current actions to solve the problem. Now, when we talk about performing inspections during these tough times, what is the problem over there? Why are we facing a challenge in doing the inspections? Then we need to think about how we can solve this problem. And without forgetting that progress and safety together. We cannot solve the problem isolating any one of them. And then we will write down the current actions when taken can solve this problem. Now, what's the problem? Let's define the problem. What is that we want to do? We want to perform inspections during pandemic. What is stopping us from doing it? We are concerned about the safety of our field workers. Why are we concerned about the safety of the field workers? If they are stepping onto the field, we fear of them getting impacted with the virus. Now, if they are not going out of the field, let's assume the 15 people who needs to be on the field. Is it the 15 people being on the field is a concern, or 15 people need to communicate with each other and come in contact with each other is a problem? So that's what we are going towards the root of the problem. For me, the problem which I see is that the field inspections are at risk because the field engineers are being or not willing to be exposed. What is that they're not being willing to expose? They're not willing to be exposed to multiple people in the organization for getting the work done. See, field engineers are at risk because they need to travel back and forth for doing their inspections, to collect their job that needs to be done from the office, come to the field, perform the inspections, get an approval from multiple people, get this data submitted by the back office to get an approval. So there are multiple touch points. That is where they feel a risk of being exposed. Now, why are these field supervisors at risk? Because they need to communicate with multiple field engineers to understand what kind of inspection has been performed and to review the data. Now, if we understand from the crux of the problem is the number of touch points that people need to do in person to get the work done. Agree? If you agree, that's the problem statement we are rightly pointed upon, then how can we solve the problem? I need a solution that can reduce human contact. That means primarily I need to reduce my touch points while ensuring data exchange is happening. I need to minimize the communication between the stakeholders in getting the inspections done. While we said that when the field work is done, a supervisor has to review that work. Now I don't want, if I have to solve this problem, I need to cut down that human interaction between the field worker and the field supervisor, so that still the work is being exchanged and reviewed, but they're not coming in contact. So I need the proof of work done without visiting the site. And I need a dynamic workforce who can finish the inspections without coming in contact. So when I talk about this problem solving, when we talk about this solving this problem, what we need to understand is that we also are focusing on something called as less manual intervention and an easy operations. Now, if I can solve this problem, then I can say that my inspections during this pandemic can still be performed with efficiency. Agreed? Yes. So let's understand what actions need to be taken to solve the problem, because we know what is the problem now, which is the touch points. We know how can we solve the problem, that is to reduce the touch points and automate the workforce. Now, what are the actions you need to take? You need to reduce the human interactions. And let system create and drive your workforce. You need to enable the communication in a digital format, and then enable your field workers to report their work from their mobile devices. We all carry a mobile device. That's our sixth finger, right, of each hand. So that means I should be able to perform my actions and still exchange the data with my supervisor without coming in contact. And my mobile devices can help me do it. And then enable your system to validate the work. Do not rely on people to validate the work. We have been in this system for a long duration of time, and we know what parameters or attributes may define a right work and a work which needs a correction. So enable the system to decide what is the data that is right and what is the data that needs to be re-inspected. And finally, let people communicate via system to pass the messages and suggestions. Let's not get people exposed during these tough times. If you have to perform inspections with safety as a priority, then you need to reduce your human contact. While if you have to make the progress, you need to make your system efficient, so that both the points of your progress and safety are going with hand in hand. Now, if you take these actions, then we are sure that during this pandemic, it could be our second wave. During these tough times, we'll be able to perform our inspection. See, it's more about asking that what is that single objective when accomplished would make a big difference. If you have to take these actions, Now, what is that single objective that can bring a difference? If I was that, if I have to answer that, I would say it's a digital transformation. If you were able to digitally transform your every process with less human interaction and let system drive this process, you would have been in a state where the inspection work could have been an easy transformation even during these tough times. Digital transformation is the key. It's not late. We start now. We're still able to catch the train. Do you want to take this journey of transformation? On the whole, having heard this problem statement and how to solve it, are you ready to take that digital transformation journey? If your answer is yes, welcome on board. There are just 3 magical steps that can get you a transformation. 1. I hope you're writing it down. 1. Digitize your data collection. Automate your validations. Make your approval system driven. I know you want me to repeat it. Let me repeat it for you. Digitize your data collection. Let system validate your data. And make the approval cycles driven by your system. Is that good enough to make your system digitally transformed? That's the first step you can take that can build your journey. It can be your first step towards your digital transformation journey. We as Magic Minds act as a catalyst in making this journey for our customers. We at Fieldon understand successful digital transformations has been organized around offering complete integrated turnkey end-to-end solutions. It cannot be in bits and pieces. It needs to be a wholesome thing. And that is where we talk about our product, Fieldon.com, which helps you automate your operations, automate your data collections anytime and any way. Right from digitizing your data to enabling the system to validate your data to make your decisions driven by the system is something we cover in a holistic fashion to offer you a journey which can take you or make your progress quite efficient. So Fieldon is being used at multiple multiple customers, utilities and telecoms and various places where it is bringing that field intelligence to make an efficient decision making. It could be your annual inspections, data surveys, field audits, safety inspections, asset inspections, workflow regulations, site inspections, regulatory and compliance, anything you talk about which is associated with data. Every letter that you capture, every word that you punch in can be digitized through Fieldon due to its low code or no code optimization cycle, which will enable any customer to design their own data, design their own process to capture the data. The vision we carry is a digital system that can automate the information processing edge to edge for field activities, leading to less hassle operations and quick turnaround from ground is what can make a holistic digitization. So if you want to make your asset inspections more efficient and high priority on safety, you need to digitize your systems. How can you digitize the systems? You can do it in 3 simple steps. Digitize your data collection, let system validate data, and make system drive the approvals. And how you can achieve these 3 together? You can reach us to us to take a trial about Fieldon.com to take your first step to your digital transformation journey. We are here and we have been serving the industry with various leading customers, and right in front of you are some of the elite customers that we have been serving across the ages. Please write to us at contact@fieldon.com if you want to get a free trial and take your first step to your digital transformation journey at no cost. I'm